Hi everyone! In today's video, I'm going to be doing a tutorial and I'm going to show you how to take some leftover paper scraps and turn them into a set of Z-fold cards. This is a super simple way to use what you have and create something really beautiful. So let's get started. Okay, so for today's cards, I'm going to be working with this paper collection called Farmhouse Market. It's from Cartabella. I do have quite a few scraps left. I like this paper. It's really thick, and so it's going to give good structure to the cards. So this is the inspiration for my cards today. It's a Z-fold Christmas card that I have made in the past. I like how it sets up, so you can display it on a shelf if you wanted to. And these are the main papers that I have used or chosen from that paper collection that I'm going to make my cards with. Okay, so these are the measurements that we're going to be using for our white cardstock, and it's going to serve as our base. For each base, I'm going to use a sheet of 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I'm going to cut it directly in half at the 4 1/4 mark on the 8.5 side, and then I'll be able to get 2 bases per sheet of paper. Next, I need to make 2 score marks. I'm going to make 1 score mark at the 4 1/4 mark, and the other score mark is going to be at the 7-inch mark. Okay, so now we are ready to fold it. For this first one, I'll be folding it in this direction. And then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to fold in the opposite direction. That creates the Z fold. And as you can see, now it's ready to stand up on its own. Okay, so now we're ready to use our scraps and we're going to be cutting our 3 different pieces to match the sections in this card. So here is my sample card. For the first section, it's a 4 by 4 section. This middle section is going to be a 2 by 4 section. And then this last section is going to be a 1 by 4 section. So I want to start with section number 1 because it's the largest section. It's a 4 by 4 section. I've gone through my scraps and I have decided that this paper is going to give me the most 4 by 4 pieces of paper. And then off camera, I went through all the other scraps and I cut my pieces of paper, all the 2 by 4s, I put them in a pile, all the 1 by 4s, I put them in a pile. And then here are the 4 by 4s. They're all in a pile. I just need to separate and coordinate them together so that no one pattern repeats itself on a card. Okay, so again, off camera, I have mixed and matched all the pieces of paper so that no one pattern has repeated itself. And before I glue everything down, I want to very quickly take some ink and I want to ink all the edges because that's really going to help it stand out against the white base. And we're still keeping with the idea to use as many scraps as possible. I've chosen a flower die cut that has 1 die for the flower section and 1 die for the center section. That way I can use as many different patterns as possible. Next, I need to stamp my sentiment. These are all going to be thank you cards. I decided to use a scalloped die. Actually, it's a postcard die in a rectangle. And I'm going to be stamping thank you in several different colors. And now I want to apply 2 flowers for each card. And then each flower will have 2 leaves with it. And on the second flower, I've decided to use some foam tape and actually pop it up a little bit to give it some dimension. Okay, so here's the full set of cards, and I'll just kind of walk you through them. You're going to see how I used a mix of patterns on each one. I paired some of the busier prints with the more subtle ones so they balance out. A lot of this really just depends on the scraps that you have. Some pieces were smaller, so I used those for accents. And then, of course, the larger pieces became the main panels. Even though each card is a little different, they all come together because they're from the same paper pad. This is a great reminder that you don't need full sheets to do something cohesive. If you enjoyed this project or found it helpful, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future tutorials. And if you're interested in pieces like these, I do have them available in my Etsy shop, and that'll be in the description box below. But thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I will see you in the next video.